Aurora just got her summertime haircut. We're coming up to temperatures that are going to be in the 90s and potentially into triple digits. So she just got her haircut. Now it's time for a bath. The bath is going to help get any hairs that are going to be tickly on her. And this is how I fight mites and lice on goats. They get a bath when the weather is really good. They get a bath once a week. If I find mites or lice, then they get a bath 3 days in a row, followed by a few days off, and then 3 days in a row again. And so I'll show you what I use. She's like, oh no. Anyway, what I use to bathe my goats is Dawn dish soap. Come on, focus. Let's see. I use Dawn dish soap to bathe my goats. And the reason I use it is it's going to get in there if there's any mites or lice. And it's going to it'll kill the adults. And the eggs can be affected sometimes and sometimes not. It's kind of hit or miss. So anyway, that's why I go 3 days in a row to get any adults I might have missed over those 3 days. And then I give them about 3 days off. And then we go 3 days in a row again. And that's going to get any of those eggs that are hatching. So anyway, Dawn dish soap. And so first I'm going to get her wet. And then I'll be putting on the Dawn dish soap. And I scrub her down with the brush. Now when I'm looking for mite activity, you see how she's got some dry skin flakes here? And like, I haven't found any. I've been just looking her over really good. But she's old and she's always had the worst dry skin. So anyway, I'm going to spray her down real quick. And then we'll get started. Now, when you're bathing your goat, be nice. Don't spray him in the face and don't come right at him with the water. I've got it over here, spraying it away from her. She knows what's going to happen. So I'm going to come up next to her. I'm going to get her legs wet first. Okay, I don't want to scare my goat to death. Now, they're not going to enjoy it. Unless it's really hot, then they all clamor for the hose. But for the most part, they don't care for water a whole lot. Now, she's an old pro. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how many baths this girl has had in her lifetime. Aurora is, I think, 12 this year. If not, then she's 11. Anyway, she's had lots of haircuts, lots of baths over her years. She knows the drill. So anyway, I'm going to get her nice and wet like that. Turn off my water. And then I'm going to apply the dish soap and start scrubbing. I've got my dish soap. Just going to go up. Whoop. Aurora, I'm going to go like this on her spine. Mites really seem to enjoy the spinal area of your goat. And then they'll also go under here where the udder attachment is on the girls. I know, I looked at that spot, huh? Anyway, they'll go under the belly, under here, and under the armpits, and here, really good. So, I mean, the rest of the body, they'll do it also, but goats like to, at least mine do, they like to rub on the fence, so we don't see a lot of mite activity on the side, whereas we see it on top and bottom. So anyway, real gentle. I don't want to, hurt my animal. She enjoys this. She loves, and I just get in here and just start scrubbing. And you're not being like terribly hard on them, nothing like that. Just real gentle. If you've got a goat that's touchy, some of them are thin-skinned, be gentle. Use your hands. On those goats, sometimes I just use my hand because they're not good. But you like this, huh? I got a good spot. Sometimes she'll reach back and she'll be like, Mom, that one right there, that spot. Right there. I'm glad I'm showing you guys with the old pro. Now, I'll tell you what, if you're doing a goat that is not accustomed to baths, or maybe is just very sensitive, when you're doing those goats that are sensitive, it can be a real rodeo. They can, they jump, they scream, they yell. Like the next goat I'm doing, she's 6 years old, and it'll be a rodeo. Her whole life has just been drama, drama, drama. She's the drama queen. But you're my old pro, huh? Okay, so I just scrubbed her down really good, and I'm letting it sit for a little bit. I let it sit for about 5 minutes so that it can really work on, if there's any adults in there, it can really work at killing them off. Now, the next one I didn't talk about just yet. See how she's itching? It just could be a coincidence, or it could be bugs. It's just, ugh. Anyway, the next spots I'm going to focus on, I did underneath her belly also. I did soap underneath her belly really good. Now I'm going to attack her legs. Now sometimes you'll see your goat doing like a stomp, And sometimes they just stomp because maybe they got a fly bugging them or they stepped on something kind of funny. But if they're stomping excessively and then like they do like this jerk and they kind of bounce and look at it, I would suspect mites or lice. And they love to get in their toes down there at their toes down here. The mites get in there along the hoof and they just absolutely make these poor goats crazy. So now I'm going to put some soap on my brush and then brush it into her feet and let it sit about 5 minutes, and then I'll rinse her off. Well, excuse you. Burping. Not very ladylike. No, not very ladylike. While I'm letting that soap sit on her and soak in a minute, I can talk to you guys. So I prefer to bathe my goats in the morning. I haven't even looked at the temperature, but I know it's above 60 out here. It's probably pushing 70 by now. We're supposed to have a high today of 91. Anyway, I prefer to do it in the morning so that they've got the rest of the day to be warm, stand in the sun if they need to. Occasionally, I will bathe in the evening, but I try to do it when I'm going to sweat to death and they'll have a chance to enjoy the sun. Like, it's really tempting to do it later in the evening when it's shady and it's cool, but the chance of your goat potentially getting chilled and then getting sick, it is there. So I prefer, what are you doing? I prefer to do it in the morning so they've got the rest of the day. If I'm going to do it later, like 5 o'clock is probably the latest, or 6 at the absolute latest that I would do it. Just because, I mean, I know it's going to be hot for the person. You're going to be sweating, but hey, you're playing with water, so, you know, cool yourself off. But you need to allow these animals to have a chance to warm up. You can towel them off and you can scrape them off, but they do better if they've got that sunlight that they can absorb. Well, she has very, very patiently waited 5 minutes. She's such a good girl. And even though she knows what we've been doing, I'm still going to approach low, get her feet wet first, which is fine because remember, we washed those feet. I know I didn't get it on video. I should have brought my tripod out. I'll have to do another video for you guys. So I'm just going to get in here. Nah, I know, sweet girl. Now, if you think they've got an issue up along their head, you can investigate. She likes to investigate the water. Anyway, you can take a brush and brush along their head, and then I just get the brush wet or a rag, and then I rag them off. I don't like to get their head. Like, I've seen some people, they'll just soak their head, but they don't appreciate it, you know. So be nice to your critter. Yeah, I don't think, you know, we don't like it if somebody walked up to us and just started shooting us in the face with a hose. So, you know, do right by your animal. Make sure I get underneath her tummy. That way we don't leave any soap behind. Under your tail. We washed that area. Good girl. We don't want to really leave any soap behind. Now, when I've had a really, really bad infestation one year, I bought some straw and didn't realize the straw was infested. And I had to leave soap on my goats for like an hour or two. It was bad to try to break that cycle of those mites. Straw is one of the biggest areas that mites like to hang out. So like this time of year, it's summertime, I do not bed anymore with straw in the summer, like late spring through early fall when it's hot. I do not like to use any straw in any of our goat houses because straw and mites literally go hand in hand. The mites will happily just breed like crazy in that straw, so I won't use it. If we need something put down, I prefer to put down shavings, but or if I've got some old hay, then I'll put that down. But I really try not to put down any straw this time of year. And yeah, I mean, obviously they can go into the hay, but for some reason, whatever reason it is, they prefer straw. And then you'll end up with goats that are full of mites, they're full of owies, and then they get anemic, and it can even drop a goat dead. So you want to avoid that at all costs. Now I'm going to let her stand here for a few minutes and dry off. She actually is going to get turned out here on the pasture here in a minute anyway, but I'm going to let her stand here because I'm going to put some bug spray on her, some fly spray. So I want her to dry off just enough so that the fly spray will stick. You see that face? That face is begging She knows I've got some of her favorite treats. I've got peanuts, and they just love those peanuts. And then those little blocks there, those are horse treats, but goats love them too. Now, if you get a horse treat, make sure it's goat-sized. Some of them are huge, just massive. Hey, you want a treat? Aurora, you want a goodie? Oh, yes, we want the goodies. Does that make up for me bathing you today? Oh, pretty girl. If you get the peanuts that have salt on them, and like if you're showing goats like at the fair or goat shows, and your goats are kind of not wanting to drink, anyway, you can get the salted peanuts. They love them as a snack, but because it's got salt, it encourages them to drink. Any peanut? She likes them because in her old age, she's got teeth that are not exactly the greatest anymore, so I like to make sure they're treats. Even though these are hard, these horse treats, she can at least still crunch them, and I've got another horse treat also that they can still crunch. But she's rolling that peanut around in her mouth. She's really good at trying to crack the shell and then have the peanut separate. It's one of her goofy things that she does, because yours is a goof. Okay, I'm gonna put the other 3 in my pocket a minute. Look at you rolling your tongue. So, the fly spray that I prefer to use, and I have used so many fly sprays over the years, but this Bronco fly spray here with the citronella scent is fantastic. I also add to it, I know it says fly spray, it says it right there, right? But if you take and add a teaspoon of vanilla to this, it really drives the flies away. Flies, for whatever reason, hate vanilla. Now, I know she's not the driest yet, but she's getting impatient with me, so. And if you have a goat that's not used to this, be prepared, I know, for a rodeo. And I do mean a rodeo, like holy moly. They can be like a horse, buck, snort, kick, fart, you know. They can get pretty serious about not wanting to be fly sprayed because it's a weird sensation. She's older, she's been fly sprayed so many times in her life that she's just used to it. Yeah. Ugh. Don't care for the smell though. Alright, hold on, get you some more treats. Yes, just a minute. Fly spray away. This is such a handy little box here. It was like a bank box or whatever. Just tied it to my fence, and I can keep my stuff in there while I'm bathing the goats. And then the goat chain here is just a chain with links on it, and I can just attach them right to it, so I can give them. Well, hold on. Want another peanut? Of course you want the peanut. One more treat here in a second. Yep. And you can hold it like if you feed a horse, you can put it directly on your hand like that. Or, I mean, some goats, they'll snap your fingers. They get greedy. I have some goats that are really greedy, and they'll grab your fingers with it. So my kids, for those goats, we hold it like that for the most part. You just kind of cup it. But she's all so sweet and gentle that she just, yeah. All right, I'm going to let you go. You can back up a sister. There you go. There you go. Well, you're not going in. You're going out to pasture. Back up. Go out there. She wants to come in. She knows I just made some grain for the other goat that I'm about to clip and bathe. No, you can't have it. You had yours. Nope. 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 Still no. Hard no. Nope.